Good morning and Happy New Year. Hundreds of thousands of people, revelers, jammed into New York City's Times Square to say goodbye to the old and ring in the new. And we're celebrating right along with them today, Friday, January 1st, 2010.
From NBC News, this is Today with Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning. Welcome to this special New Year's Day edition of Today. I'm Matt Lauer alongside Meredith Vieira, Al Roker, and Ann Curry. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Now, this is something unusual. We've got the artist who inspired the Beatles to sing about love. Well, that artist is now sharing a new message with the world, and we're going to tell you what that is.
Still ahead, the artist who believes that four little letters, not those four little letters,
no, I wasn't thinking that,
can change the world in 2010. But first, this is Today on NBC.
But first, you've got a legendary artist who believes that four little letters can change the world. We have his story now from NBC's Kerry Sanders.
The journey to meet a living legend begins in coastal Maine, on Penobscot Bay, due east about an hour and a half by ferry from the mainland, just north of Matinicus Island, to a granite rock called Vinyl Haven. Most of the 1,200 residents on this weather-worn island are fifth or sixth generation lobstermen.
I'm not terribly interested in lobsters. They're not one of my favorite food.
But there's one newcomer who arrived 40 years ago and never left.
When we got to the moon, I got to Vinyl Haven, you see.
He's Robert Indiana, and if you don't recognize his name, you most likely know his work. He's the artist who asked a nation at war to think about love. It was the 60s, civil rights, Vietnam, Woodstock. What was it about the 60s that made that love sculpture click, do you think?
Had nothing to do with me. It was probably those four guys called Beatles.
John Lennon was so inspired by the love sculpture, he wrote that song. Today, love is on display in more than 140 cities worldwide. An iconic image of the times that survives today.
The 60s was a very vibrant time to be alive. It's when I did my most important and exciting paintings.
But those works may face a new challenge. At 81, as a decade ends, Robert Indiana says his gut tells him the times are ripe for a new message. It's been a rough decade. Terrorism, wars, unemployment at 10%. And now comes artist Robert Indiana again with four simple letters. H-O-P-E. Hope. And just like love in the 60s, simple, provocative, powerful.
It's both a noun and a verb. Everybody's got to hope.
What is the hope then?
I want to cover the world with love. I'd like to cover the world with hope.
Robert Indiana, who says he relishes life's coincidences, lives in a 200-year-old mansion long ago named the Star of Hope. He unveiled his work when candidate Barack Obama's book, The Audacity of Hope, just happened to be reaching its largest audience. Today, at the Rosenbaum Contemporary in Boca Raton, Florida, Hope mini sculptures are on back order.
People just want to embrace hope. Hope is what it's all about right now.
At the Farnsworth Museum in Rockland, Maine.
I can't think of any other artist who has done what he has done.
The largest ever collection of Robert Indiana's lifetime works is on display until January 10th. At the center of it all, hope.
Bob's made words into sculpture that have a meaning far greater than the word of the sculpture.
Are you surprised that just four simple letters can be so powerful?
It's the way they're constructed. You see, L-O-V-E's been around a long time, and H-O-P-E's been around a long time, but Bob arranged them in a way that one can't escape them, you see.
So as we begin a new decade and again promise we're going to go to the gym more often, stick to that diet, spend more time with the kids, as we go through that ritual, artist Robert Indiana believes, like the O leaning forward in his sculptures, we will all look forward and hope for a better, more peaceful world.
For Today, Kerry Sanders, NBC News on Vinyl Haven Island in Maine.
You can imagine maybe the Beatles would want to write a song about that as well. I mean, it's a powerful message, especially in this time we live in.
If only. That's cool. Robert, Indiana. Cool guy.
Very cool guy.